Thank you for tuning in to another video by yours truly, Toby, the so-called artist. Hi, it's me, Toby, the so-called artist, and today, as you guys could probably infer from the title of the video, I am going to be making my submission or my entry for the Copic 2026 art contest. They do this art contest every single year, and there's a bunch of different prizes you can win. I will have the contest website linked down below. I do believe the end date of submissions is June 1st. If I'm wrong, I will put the correct date on screen. But I've been entering this contest since, I want to say last year. I don't know if I did it the year before, 2024. I don't post about them often because I used to think that you weren't allowed to talk about your submissions before they finished judging, but I rechecked the rules and there was no rule on the website that said you can't talk about your submission before the contest is over. And it's not like I'm gonna win anyway, so I decided I'm gonna make this video. I'm gonna take you guys with me through this process. Now, there are big rules on the website. The biggest one that's almost everywhere is that no fan art. Can't do fan art. It has to be 100% original idea, that you're coming up with. So, for this year, I want to use Button. Button is an OC I recently made, and I think she's so cute. And I used mostly Copics when coloring her. I don't think I used it for this part here, but I'm going to give her a fun little outfit, and I just want to do a simple illustration. Maybe she's taking a walk in the park, maybe she's drinking coffee, she's sitting by a little tree reading a book. I don't know, I want to do something cute, but I want her to be my character for this piece. So I'm going to take you guys over to, back to my binder as I work on some thumbnail sketches. Okay, so jumping into my thumbnails, I don't really share my thumbnail process often because most of the time I just freeball it. I go straight into an illustration, but I really wanted to think things through, and I've been in a creative overload in my brain. I have too many ideas at one time, so I think doing these little thumbnails helps me get all of those ideas out of my head, and that way I can hyper focus on one specific thing that I think is going to turn out well. These thumbnails are pretty janky, but I think thumbnails are supposed to be janky. I just need to get the motions, you have to go through the motions to truly understand and get a good feeling of what you want something to turn out as. I did put little notes here for myself personally so that I can visit them later. Okay, so now that I have done all of my thinking process, I had a couple of ideas that I did some thumbnails for, but I think I'm definitely going to go with sitting, maybe reading a book or drinking some tea or some coffee or maybe some hot chocolate. There is not enough hot chocolate love representation in artwork, and I think that's really sad because I love hot chocolate. I can drink an entire box of hot chocolate if left to my own devices, which often happens because I am an adult and I buy my own groceries, so I am often drinking all of my hot chocolate. Anyway, we're gonna draw Button sitting here. I already measured this out because after I'm done with this, I do want to put this in my binder. Because last time I did it, I did a big illustration, but I couldn't figure out where to put it after I was done with the illustration, and that's something I want to work on with all the artwork I make. I want to make sure that it has a home in my house, in my sketchbooks and everything. I want to make sure that everything has a place to be. So, this paper I'm using is a marker paper. You can't see it, but up top I wrote good side because it looks the same on both the front and back. So sometimes if I take it out of the notepad that it's in, I can't remember which side is the side I'm supposed to use the markers on until it's too late. So I made sure to write good side on here, and we're gonna do my little sketch. I was thinking of either sketching straight on this paper or sketching on a different piece of paper and then just doing the line art here, because I think that might be a little cleaner. So, I don't know. I think I might do the sketch separate. Nah, I'm lazy. I'm gonna put everything on one page. Now we get to the sketching process, and I wanted it to have I wanted to fill the whole area that I was drawing with details. So I made sure to do like the framework of the bay window seat and the window, and then I struggled a little bit with her legs because I didn't know how much of the shoes I wanted it to be in frame or out of frame, but I just wanted it to be like at an angle where it looks like she's sitting comfortably. I did change things up from my thumbnail as these things happen because I couldn't figure out how I wanted to place the hands for holding the hot chocolate, so I decided to just have the hot chocolate be on like a little drink dish next to her and then have her hands just casually leaned against something, or she's just looking out into the window, you know. Some things, you just gotta simplify it. And I could not be bothered to figure out arm placements, so I didn't. The pencil I am using is my Jumbo Faber-Castell pencils. I love using these to sketch. They're real easy on my hands, so it's a overall relaxing process. And then after I finish my initial sketches, I stop, and then I get my lead pencil, and I go over and I add my extra details. These extra details is mostly just like clothing, accessories, refining facial features, and then I go over all of the lines that I actually want to keep in my drawing, or the things I want to pay attention to when it comes down to doing my line art. Oh, but while I have you guys here for just a mere moment, I want to give a special shout out to my Chewy Art Club members. $2 a month gets you a sneak peek at exclusive work, early access, and occasionally exclusive YouTube videos. So if you're interested, it is linked down below in the description. And I want to thank my number one Chewy Art Club member, Sleeping for the Weekend. They've been here since like day one, and I'm so grateful. Overall, if you want to support me and my artwork, you can donate to my Ko-fi page. Alright, so that's how it all came out. I really like her cute little outfit. It's very cozy chic, but clearly she posed for this picture. And you know what? She's an icon, and we love her for that. But I'm going to do the line art off camera because I have to wait for the ink to dry and everything. So by the next time I come back, it will be dry and then we can color. But for you guys, it will be a simple matter of a magical video transition. Alright, and now we are back. It has been a day of drawing time. Here's how we're looking so far. These little X's just indicate that I'm going to color those areas as solid black. It's a trick I picked up from studying mangas, or like the manga making process. They put an X on an illustration to indicate that area is to be solid black. That way I don't have to worry about whether or not a large area of black is dry, because usually if you take a big puddle of ink, it's going to take so much longer to dry than just a singular line. And the grid that I drew on the pants was just the layout for the polka dots that I was going to add. So I am excited to start coloring. I separated my marker bucket to be just my Copic markers. This was one of the baskets I used for my washi tapes, so they are currently sitting in a shoebox right now because I had to move them over. But these are all of my Copic markers, and I do have a swatch sheet for most of them. I think I've swatched out most of my Copic markers. The reason why I have these swatched out and named is because when you submit your entry for the contest, you do have to list out at least 3 of the most prominent Copic markers that you used. So like, if I did a big nature piece and I used a lot of YG07 and then B52 and then G46, I do have to put those underneath my illustration. It's not every single Copic marker, it's just the 3 most prominent colors. So now that I have everything set up, I'm going to swap things around and we can get to the coloring process. I totally forgot to mention this earlier, but this is not a sponsored video by Copic. I realize as I'm talking about the Copic Art Contest, this is just me being excited to be a part of something. This is not sponsored at all. I'm just big chilling. But let's talk more about Button. Now, Button is a character I designed in a live stream that I did, I think last week or so. I just wanted to make a character that captures the cutesy style and Rubber Hose cartoons, and I wanted her to be a cute animal and to remind me of Minnie Mouse because I love Minnie Mouse and I'm not, I love her. I love her design. Okay? Disney knew what they were doing when they were putting together those designs because she's iconic. However, Disney, evil corporation, evil corp, it's like the umbrella of the industries, and I don't want anything to do with evil corporations. So I wanted to make a character that gave me the same feeling of cuteness and love that I get when I look at Minnie Mouse. And so I made Button. She's this adorable little monkey that loves fashion, and she's a little diva. I don't have much backstory for her. She's just adorable. She's cute and fun to draw. I am thinking about making her some friends. Options for friends she would have. I was going to make a little alien, because I think a little alien companion would be really funny. I'm not 100% sure about what I would do. If I were to give her a story and some friends, I'm enjoying the drawing process and having her as a character as is, because a lot of times when it comes to making stories or doing comics, the characters kind of get away from you, if that makes sense. You kind of lose sight of why you drew them in the first place and their personality, because you're trying so hard to make them fit into a story. So I wouldn't mind making another little comic story. I don't want to get sucked into it and then I don't like it, because then I won't feel that love I have for her and I wouldn't want to draw her anymore. And I don't want that. I don't want to miss what she used to be, if that makes sense. The creative process can be very taxing, on your mind, because yeah, I can come up with ideas and it can be easy, but it's a lot of brain energy, the steam is rolling, the train is going, but I'm tired. And when it comes to writing stories, there's a lot of thought that has to go into that. It might not seem that way with some things that are produced nowadays, but a lot of the world building and the complex relationships you want characters to have, it's a long process, and sometimes you don't want to write everything down. A lot of people say when you make a story, you should take the time to write everything first before you start drawing. And it's hard. It's a hard temptation to resist, You make your characters, and instead of writing out the full story, you just want to start drawing. You want to get straight into the creating process. So it's difficult when you think about it in the long haul of things. What am I really gonna do? But I think that's more a topic to break down in another video. Let me know if you guys want me to talk about the process of making comics and stuff and what goes into that, cuz I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll make a video. Just let me know in the comments down below if you feel so kind. And we're done. I have trimmed down the illustration to fit in my binder and I hole punched it. This is the Canson marker paper. It did not like my hole puncher. It refused. which was really funny because it's like a relatively thin paper. It was like, But I also cut out the color swatches that I did on the side here. I think looking back and forth between these, I definitely made notes that BG34, YR27, and I want to say maybe it's in between E37 or R43. Those are going to be like the top 3 colors I used in most places. I know our eyes will make us want to say, oh, you use black the most, but I don't know. It's hard trying to pinpoint how much of a color you used unless you use it on a large space. Like these two, no questions. I know I use these on large areas on the drawing, but the runner-ups, I don't know. But I like that I was able to add this back into my binder, and I have a lot of empty space here, so I might write maybe some thoughts down, my experience with everything, and, you know, cross my fingers and hope that if I don't win, at least I get recognized, you know? I put in a lot of work, and I'm happy with how this turned out. It looks a little bit more like nighttime cozy, and I don't mind that. But I want to thank everyone for watching my video today. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!